Well, hi there. I am Wayne Rice, and welcome to. Actually, this is my garage. We got this cool blue background here, but on the wall so that it looks better. But this is really my garage, and it's a hot day here in the summer in San Diego, which is why I'm probably perspiring greatly. But you know, I am the co-founder of Youth Specialties. With Mike Acanelli and I used to work together here in the San Diego area. Back in the 60s, we were both campus life directors, and we were working campus life clubs, and we were going to school at the same time as well. Both of us were at San Diego State University, and so we decided the only way we were going to get our education done, and also we were both married at the time, and our wives were telling us to go get a real job. We figured we better complete school, so we quit campus life, started working hard on our studies, and took part-time church jobs, working in churches. I took a job in a Nazarene church. Mike took a job in a Baptist church, and we suddenly found ourselves as church youth workers. Not too many churches in the San Diego area had youth pastors or youth directors, and we just called ourselves youth directors back in those days. But we suddenly found ourselves alone. In campus life, which was a parachurch ministry, part of YFC, we always had plenty of resources, plenty of other guys that we could turn to get ideas and share ideas with. But being alone in youth ministry, we just didn't have too much in the church. So we decided, let's start something. So we took a lot of our best ideas and we put together an idea book. And this was in 1968. And our first idea book actually was this right here. This is a copy of it. This is Duffy Robbins told me once, he says, this is the Magna Carta of youth ministry right here. But see, copyright 1968, Ideas, a programming source manual, and it's got all kinds. This is the original source of, you know, like Chubby Bunny and the Egg and Armpit Relay, all those incredible youth ministry ideas. And then about a year or so later, we decided, you know what we really need is a conference for youth workers that's just for youth workers in the church. And so we put together this incredible idea, which we called the National Youth Workers Convention. And the first one was in 1970. And I also have for you here, just to show you, a little object lesson. Everything just fell on the floor. This is the original convention notebook. You know, now there are all these really slick notebooks that have all kinds of advertisements. We didn't have any ads. There was nobody that was producing resources back in those days for youth workers except us. And so this is the first convention notebook. This is our amazing Youth Specialties logo right here that I designed, by the way. And all the convention notebook here has the program and all the rest. You can see here how to relate to adults and church staff. That's important to know if you're in youth ministry. John MacArthur taught that particular seminar. The one right after his is Publicity and Promotional Techniques. I taught that one. That's me. And then down here, the use of humor in youth programming. Guess who? Mike Acanelli, of course. And this convention actually was a huge success. It drew about 300 people from all over the country, the first National Youth Workers Convention. And a little bit later on, I'll reach down here, this is the very first copy of Youth Worker Journal, which we started at Youth Specialties back in 1984. And in fact, this year is the 25th anniversary, I believe, of Youth Worker Journal. But this is the first copy. And the idea behind this, as well as the National Youth Workers Convention, is we wanted youth ministry to be taken seriously in the church. We wanted to create an atmosphere of professionalism in the church. And you know what? I think we succeeded at that. I mean, youth ministry has definitely become a profession. It's become a legitimate career choice for a lot of people these days. A lot of colleges, a lot of seminaries offer degrees in youth ministry. There are now many great publications, lots of resource providers. I've been to recent National Youth Workers Conventions, and I've seen more exhibits in the exhibit hall than we had attendees at our first convention. It's now an industry. Youth ministry has grown like crazy. I'm still involved. I still work as a volunteer youth leader at my own church. And over the years, I've had a chance just to observe youth ministry and see what's really happening. What have we learned? And I've learned a lot of things about youth ministry, and I want to just share a couple of things. Number one is I've come to appreciate just how important families are in the whole process of spiritual formation in kids, especially parents. And you know, I think one of the mistakes that we made early on in youth ministry was not really taking parents seriously. We treated teenagers as if they didn't have parents at all. But today I think we all appreciate this, don't we? There's a lot of talk these days about family-based youth ministry. And it's so important that we find ways to engage parents and to get them involved and to partner with parents. That's number one. Number two is I realized that what happened when we professionalized youth ministry is we really took it out of the hands of just the rest of the church. And what happened is we started segregating the youth group from the rest of the church. And I really have, to me, I'm convinced is one of the greatest mistakes that we've made in youth ministry, because the church is really the last place on earth where I think kids can really have, other than their own families, where they can have a truly intergenerational experience. We are the family of God, and it's so important for us to find ways to bring the generations together. That's how the faith gets passed on from one generation to the next. But unfortunately, in youth ministry, we've somehow succeeded in just mimicking what our culture has done, and that's, in a sense, isolating our kids or abandoning our kids. I had a friend of mine at the National Youth Workers Convention. He's in business here in San Diego, and I took him to one of the conventions, and he was looking around the exhibit hall, and he just went, wow, I didn't realize this was such an industry. I mean, working with kids these days must be incredibly complicated. And I went, no, anybody can do it. It's not that you don't have to be a professional to work with teenagers. And unfortunately, I think that's kind of what has happened with the professionalizing of youth ministries. We've actually led a lot of people to believe that it's done over there by professionals in the youth ministry, and it's not really part of the church. And that maybe is the result of our having brought kind of that parachurch model into the church, so it's run separate from the church rather than being integrated into the church, where it can be more of an intergenerational experience. Those are just a couple of things that I've learned, and it's something that I'm trying to help happen in our church, where we become more family-based, where we work with parents a lot more, get them involved a lot more, and also create the kind of culture in our church where old people and young people come together. Let me read to you a scripture that has been one of my favorites over the years. In fact, I have this printed on my business card, so if you ever get in touch with me, you'll find it there. But it's from Psalm 71. And it's beginning with the 17th verse. Since my youth, O God, you have taught me, and to this day I declare your marvelous deeds. Even when I am old and gray, I can relate to this. Do not forsake me, O God, until I declare your power to the next generation, your might to all who are to come. That's why we're in youth ministry. It's one generation passing it on to the next. And I want to encourage you, if you're in youth ministry, don't think you have to be young and hip and cool to be able to do it all. You may be young and hip and cool. That's good. But don't worry about getting older in youth ministry. Kids need older people, like me and like you, to come alongside them and help them grow in their faith. A good friend of mine, Steve Glenn, once said, the teenagers left to their own devices will always gravitate to the oldest person they can find, who will take them seriously and treat them with dignity and respect. I believe that's not only true, it's biblical. We need to be hooking our kids up with older folks in the church. Anything that we can do to make the church an intergenerational place, where parents are involved, families are involved, and the whole family of God is involved. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.